I'm about to show you a very simple step-by-step mechanical strategy that you can follow and you can use to trade every single day. You can use it to trade your prop firms, past challenges, get payouts, all of that. Right. So the strategy is the 15-minute opening range breakout. We will be taking entries on the 1-minute time frame. You can trade either the Nasdaq or the S&P 500. We will be trading from 9:30 a.m. so the New York Open until 11 o'clock a.m. This is EST, Eastern Standard Time. If we do not get a setup after 11 o'clock a.m. EST, we do not trade for that day, and you'll be going for a simple one-to-one risk to reward. Okay, so you come to your chart for the 9:30 New York Open. You make sure you're on the 15-minute time frame. All you do is wait for the first 15-minute candle to finish printing. Once that first 15-minute candle finishes printing, you mark the high and the low of that candle. Now you come down to the 1-minute time frame, and this is where you look for your entry. All you are looking for is for price to break either above or below the range, and you enter. You enter on the close of the candle that breaks the range, and you set your stop loss 50% of the range, and you aim for a 1-to-1. It's that simple. Let me just show you. So when you're marking out your range, the tool that I use is the parallel channel. So if you come to the second option here, if you come down, you see it here, the parallel channel. The reason why I use this to mark out the range, because click on the top of the range, extend it across, come down to the bottom of the range, it automatically gives you the 50% point, the midway point. So you can use a Fibonacci to do the same thing, but I just use this, find it quite easy, quite simple, quite straightforward. This is the settings. So I just have it set there on the 0.5 range, and it'll give you the 50% of the range. So again, once price breaks out, you enter on the close of the candle that breaks the range, stop loss 50% of the range, and you aim for a 1-to-1. That simple. So now I'm going to back test this and we can see the results. Okay, so now we're going to start back testing the strategy. I'm going to be using FX replay. So I've pre-entered some things, 15-minute orb we're going to be doing on 100k account balance. I'm going to be trading the Nasdaq on this one, Nasdaq futures. So this is the micro contract, so the MNQ. I've preloaded the chart layout, and just to let you know, as usual, I'm not going to be cherry picking any date, so I'm going to click random here, and FX replay is going to pick whatever date it wants. So let's see, and then we're going to start back testing. So let it load up. Okay, so interestingly, it's trading December 2025. Yep. So it's trading the last 2 weeks of December. So we're going to trade a whole month. So I'm going to be trading December to January. And this is going to be very telling because historically, the last 2 weeks of December, first 2 weeks of January is not a good time to trade because, people are on holiday, the markets there ain't as much volume in the market, etc., etc. So this is actually good to see if the strategy will be able to stand unusual market conditions. So the only thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to use a double screen, make it easier and quicker. So on this side, I'm going to have the 15-minute time frame, and on this side, I'm going to have the 1-minute time frame. This will just stop me from having to switch between back and forth between the 15-minute and the 1-minute. So I'll just have both of them on the split screen. Make sure we're on New York time. It's on Chicago time, so set that to New York time. Next day open 9:30 New York time, that's fine. I've got my tools set up here. So okay, so we're ready to go. So I'm going to go to the next day open and we're going to start from there. So the next day open, you come to the market and you wait for the 9:30 candle to print. So that's the New York opening candle, 9:30 candle. So we're gonna draw the high and the low of that candle. So I'm going to use my parallel channel, and from the top to the bottom, and it's giving me the top, the bottom, and the 50% midway point through the range. So now you come to the 1 minute. So now this is the 1 minute time frame, and we're gonna wait for price to either break above or below the range, and we enter on the close of that candle. So remember, we only trade from 9:30 a.m. to 11 o'clock a.m. If there's no trade after 11, we do not take a trade. So let's see what happens. So price has closed outside the range. It's a very small closure, but however, it's a close. So we're gonna enter. Now, I'll be honest with you. In real life, in real time, I might not take this entry because it's just entered slightly below the range and the long wick at the bottom. So it's shown that price has come all the way down and it's reversed back up on its closing. So most likely the momentum is shifting back up. But however, for backtesting purposes, I'm going to take every entry. So we take a short entry on the close. Stop loss 50% of the range. We go for a 1-to-1. We place the order and we let the trade play out. Okay, so it's ended up being a winning trade. Wow. Look at that. Went right to the 50%, almost whipped us out. Came back down in our direction. So that's how the strategy works. So I'll do another one just to show you again. So 9:30 candle, first 15-minute candle. That's the first 15-minute candle here. We mark the high and the low of that candle. Then we come to the 1 minute and wait for price to break above or below, and we take an entry. So price has broken below, so we take a short. Stop loss the 50% range. Risk reward 1-to-1. We take the trade, see what happens. Okay, so that's another winner. So now I'm going to carry on trading and we'll see what happens at the end of the month. Okay, so that's the back testing over. And surprise, surprise, we have a break even, well, a losing month actually. So I back tested the period of last 2 weeks of December to the first 2 weeks of January because as usual, I don't cherry pick anything on this channel. When I was doing the back testing, I selected random and that's the dates it gave me. Now, realistically, I told you I personally don't even trade this period. It's the holiday period. last 2 weeks of December going into January, there's hardly any volume in the market. Everyone's gone on holiday. Certain companies are closed. So most people don't trade this period, but because that's the period it's selected, I said let's just back test it anyway. And I'm glad, because this is a very valuable lesson for any new traders. This is normal. You will have break even months, you will have losing months. You're not gonna have a green month every single month. That's You have losing days, you have losing weeks, you have losing months. But you're looking long term, quarterly, at the end of the year. How much percent are you up by? That's proper trading. If you're trading prop firms, that's different. You might go a bit aggressive. So even if you're trading prop firms, you might just be down by 1%. That's easily recoverable. One or two trades, you're back break even, you're back in the green. The aim of the game is to stay in the game. The longer you stay, the more you perfect your strategy. This, I just did it without no other confluences. If you look here, you'll see December was down 0.7%, break even, slightly down. January was down 1%, and this is probably the worst period to be trading. So if your strategy can survive during these sort of periods, I'll say you have a very good strategy. In fact, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna backtest this whole year. So from January 2025 all the way to April or May 2026. And I'm gonna show you the long-term game. And I'm gonna show you, I guarantee we'll be up by the end of the year. So that's what I'm gonna do for my next video. I'm gonna do a full back test of this exact same strategy, of this exact same period, to show you how trading actually works. December you broke even. January you're down 1%. Let's be honest. Are you carry on trading the strategy, or would you abandon it, go find another strategy, spend another 4, 5, 6 months, however long it takes you to learn the strategy, backtest, do all of that? Then you might have a period of losing, then you abandon that strategy, then you go find another one. And that's why you're in the same position you are that you were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, because you need to be able to survive periods like this. Trading, you're gonna have periods when the market's just going in your favor. Everything you hit turns into gold, and you're gonna have periods like this where the market's just going against you. And the key is to be able to manage periods like this, and you manage it by controlling your risk, sticking to your strategy. That's the two things you need to do. Just control your risk, stick to your strategy, and you a 1.5% loss is nothing. Two trades, you're back in the game. So I'm so glad this happened, because this is a very valuable lesson. I mean, I could have easily re-recorded this video, or manipulated it, but no, like, I want to be real and honest with you and show you the realistic events in trading. This is trading. So you look like these periods in January. So if we go to December, this is why I say normally don't trade the holiday period. You can see these days like 22nd, 23rd, Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, the horrible week. And that's because there was hardly any volume in the market. And then if we go to January, you can see again losing, losing, losing. And ironically, now you see, as we're coming out of the holidays, so on the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, you can see the market starting to pick back up. You can see we have a period of winners. But if your strategy can survive periods like this, and you come out with a scratch, a break even, a slight loss, like I say, you've got a very good strategy. So that's the video, and I'll always try to be transparent with you guys. I always try to be honest and tell you the truth. And I back tested it, and this is the result we got. So I'm gonna do a whole year's back test, and we're gonna see. So if you like the video, like it, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.